Alright. Hello, and welcome back to me playing Minecraft and testing various different video settings and such. So as you can see on the top right there, it says press I, which I have changed to I. Normally it's E, but yes, I went ahead and changed it to I, because that's how old school Minecraft was, and that's how I still have it. And it says press I to open your inventory, and achievement get taking inventory. So, that usually means that you started a new world, but as we can see here, we've still got the wonderful and glorious cylinder, we've got our mine, we've got our farms, our cow farms and chicken farms and all that stuff. Well, I am happy to report I've got my brand new computer, which is awesome. As I stated before, is, somewhat of a fairly basic bare bones type computer that will get me into it. Recording is what I mean by into it. Ow, that was not very nice of you. Get me back into the recording game here. The first couple of videos I'm sure were a little bit rough because I was recording at 25 frames on my Mac. Now we're on a PC, and you can see there we're jumping around from anywhere from 40 to 100 frames. So let's go ahead and turn F3 off. As I said last time, I went ahead and did a little bit of building, so I went ahead and finished off the side stairs there and built their landings off of there. So let's jump up there and take a look at how everything's looking. And there's a reason we've only got 3 of our farms there. I went ahead and started a reed farm. Oops, let's not fall. Started a reed farm in that one over there, and the reason for that is because that creeper blew up my books, and I'm no longer able to get 30 level enchants. You may be able to tell I've got some new tools there on my bar, there. And that is because, well, I do. So, I spent a ton of time farming potatoes and in the nether collecting, well, what's in my hand here, quartz. And I went through and got myself a ton of levels so I could get myself some fancy-dancy new tools. Also off camera, I went ahead and finished up the item frames so I know what goes where. So let's take a look at our nether here. We've got a little bit of quartz, just a little bit here, just a tiny bit of quartz there. Also been breeding things and cooking up potatoes for that delicious XP, and as you can see there, we've got a ton of that. Cooking up steak to get even more XP. Put that wheat away for now. So I believe... Also, yeah, of course, as you saw down below there, went ahead and finished that off, and we went ahead and finished off the side staircases here as well. So we've got those going up there. I went ahead and lit up the staircases as well, because that was definitely an issue that I was having before, but now not so much. Well, with creepers, because obviously we got blown up by one before, but now I'm hoping that will not be an issue. So, as you can see here, we are still missing our books. That's why I got the reed farm going, so I can at least put the couple books back there and get back into enchanting. So, on par for today. Oh, I also started building these guys. So that is sort of what's on par for today, starting that tier 3 build. Let's take a nap real quick first, because even though I have gone through, see, I still don't know where my bed is. So I'm at the farthest point away here, and I was over there, right? You'd think I would just go, oh, okay, let's just go right here to take a nap. No, I've clearly forgotten, even though I've slept in this bed about 150,000 times, where exactly my bed is. So, that's a nice little sleep there. So, let's grab some materials, get working on that. In other news, I've decided to come up with a little bit of a different format for these videos here. I've got a little bit of a show schedule. Oh, that's what we need to do, is go farm smooth stone. So, I can show you guys where that is, because I don't think we've been there quite yet. Let's find a safe place to jump off here so we don't die. So, what was I saying? Right, the show format that I've got going here. I've got different segment ideas for if there's a lull, or if I'm doing building, or anything like that, where it's just sort of, what can I talk about, because I'm doing a building and I can't really do any commentary on the building itself because I already have done that. Or if I'm, for example, running in and through the nether, you know what, let me grab a flint and steel, because that would not be smart not to have a flint and steel. So let me grab that, and I will be Alright, welcome back. So, we are in the nether now, got myself my flint and steel. Let's go ahead and run on down this way so we can get to our other portal where our farm is. So, on the topic of show and what exactly I want to do, I've got a couple of different segments. I do apologize if the Pigman audio, though, is really loud or really quiet. This is the first time recording on the PC here with my new microphone and new setup there, so if it is too loud, I do apologize. If it's too quiet again, I apologize for that. That should be resolved in the next one. So, I've got a couple of segment ideas that I'd like to try to do. So, I've got things. The format sort of the show is going to be I'm going to come in, introduce any builds that I have done or, off camera, or any builds that I'm planning on doing for today's show. I would also like these shows to be every other day. Occasionally daily I think would be nice as well. The internet and everything else that I've got is a little bit slow. The last video that I uploaded was the 25-minute long one. I don't think it was a computer-related issue. I would assume it was more of a internet-related issue as to why it took about 4 hours. It was about 6 gigs. We are uploading in 720. That's also what I'm recording in 720. So I would like to give myself a little bit of a break in between because it is literally an all-day project. You sit down, you watch the 25-minute video, but it takes me all day to render and upload, although I assume rendering is going to be a little bit quicker now. Before I go into the show, I just want to show you off my new tools. So this guy hasn't changed. Efficiency 1, we put that on the first episode, I believe. This guy's got Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3, so I went and made myself a new shovel, and got Efficiency 3 on it, and the old shovel had Efficiency 4 and Unbreaking 3. Putting together, got 4 and 3, and I renamed it Diamond Dig, so that way I should be able to just repair it infinitely. It should never become too expensive. Diamond Crunch here, Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3. My last pick did have Fortune on it, which is nice, but didn't get quite lucky with that one when I tried to combine it with the other pick that I got, which I think was just an Efficiency 3, and the other one was Efficiency 3, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 2. Combined them, got this enchant, named it Diamond Crunch. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine with Efficiency and Unbreaking. Silk Touch and whatnot would be nice, but we can try that later on with a different pick. This guy, we got Sharpness 2, Looting 2, so my other sword just had Knockback on it. And I made another sword that had Sharpness and Smite on it, and the other had Knockback and I think Looting on it. And so I combined those two and only got Sharpness and Looting, which is kind of an interesting thing. So, ooh, we're definitely getting a little bit of frame droppage there, aren't we? Not too bad. It's not too terrible. So, let's go ahead and start farming, and while we are farming, I will talk about sort of the different segment ideas that I think would be kind of cool. So the first one is going to be let's see, I've got it on a separate computer, so I apologize for stopping for a minute. So, the quote of the day. I like the idea of a quote of the day, so some sort of quote that I find interesting or has some sort of meaning or value to it, whatever, what have you, and that I just find sort of interesting. So, I do indeed have a quote of the day today, and so to read that, I will have to look off camera again, and hopefully I won't have to stop too terribly, but the quote of the day today is, "There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." Found that on, it was a circulating sort of meme quote thing on Facebook, supposedly by Hemingway. I have not confirmed that or looked it up, but I thought the quote was a really, really cool quote, and it's something that I've thought about a lot in my short years on this earth, but I tend to be an introverted person, so I ended up, I tend to do a lot more thinking than saying. I don't necessarily say all my thoughts out loud, which is why this commentary thing is probably a little bit more difficult than something else would be. But I love the idea that it takes something that a lot of us do, unconsciously. We compare ourselves all the time, not only to people who we think are inferior to us, but to people who we think are superior to us as well. And the reality is, you shouldn't do that. it's not it's not a healthy thing, if you will. It's not good for your psyche. It's not a thing that is going to help you out. You're not going to feel better by comparing yourself either positively or negatively. Sure, in the short term, looking at somebody else and thinking, oh, I'm better than them in X, Y, or Z, sure, that's a short-term positive thing. But it really does not make you a better person morally or socially. So something comes easier to you, or so you've worked on something longer than that person has, and that's the reason why you're a little bit better than they are. So it sort of goes along the lines of, don't judge somebody or their ability or their talent or their current situation or anything like that, because you don't know all of the circumstances that are behind it. And I think that's an important thing to do. And the only person or thing that you should judge yourself against is the former self. We are constantly, always learning to better ourselves and to better our skills. We go to school for so long. We learn different skills. We learn different social rules, social standards, all that kind of stuff. And we grow as a person every day. You are a different person today than you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, a month ago, because of the different experiences that you have along the way. And I think that's why this quote, to me, was a really cool quote to start off this segment of the quote of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to gather some sand here, and once I do that, I will come back to the cylinder and move on to the next segment, which is going to be the question of the day, and that should also generate some interesting thoughts. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so welcome back. We are back from our sand, not generator, but sand collection desert area. I have explored there a little bit more thoroughly, and there is a couple desert temples in there. I believe I got 4 or 5 diamonds, a bunch of iron, a bunch of gold, the typical stuff, bones, zombie flesh, which now is definitely an obsolete thing. With the 1.6 update, with how crazy the zombies are. I did actually see a baby the other day, and those guys will absolutely destroy you. So definitely got to be on the lookout for that. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I do have a diamond chestplate with thorns and protection on it, and I was fighting a skeleton. Another way I got a bunch of XP for these tools here, and he took damage without me hitting him, and I was very confused because I had forgotten that I even had that. So that was kind of a cool thing. So we've got, let's see, a couple stacks here, about 4 stacks of smooth stone. That should be enough for this project here. It's not particularly smooth stone intensive. It is going to be more intensive on the dark wood, so I'm going to go ahead and just grab all of that in there, put the flint and steel away. I definitely like keeping things slightly organized, so my inventory, almost said it like a British man, inventory, so my inventory doesn't get all clogged up. So we're just going to copy these ideas here over to those 2 pillars there. So let's go ahead and jump on up here. Do I have torches? I'm definitely going to need torches, and I don't have torches. Let's use that efficiency 5. Get ourselves back on down here. Do I have coal? I do have a little bit of coal. I'm just going to use the rest of this. I'm sure I've got sticks over in the wood chest here. I do, and I have plenty of sticks for that, so let's just make ourselves some torches real quick, because the inside of those build sort of square things here are completely blocked off, so they are completely pitch black inside, and so that's going to cause a lot of spawning issues. Whoops. Okay. With the PC came a mouse and keyboard. I'm still using my Logitech wireless keyboard. I prefer that one, and when I'm not gaming, I prefer the wireless Logitech mouse as well. Just my personal preference. I find it a little bit easier to use. The wired part of it is a little bit awkward to use sometimes if you're like me, in that you tend to move the mouse around a lot, so there's a lot of repositioning, and then if the way I've got the desk part, the desktop, it's not on the top of my desk. I know, funnily named desktop, but it's not on the top of the desk. It's on the bottom where, well, most people's are. Their monitors are anyway, I'm going off on a tangent that's not relevant. So, the way I've got it, it's a little bit of a distance between my hand and where the mouse plugs in. My computer does have two front and a ton of rear USB connections. On the front here is where I've got my mouse and microphone set up. The rear is where I've got the wireless set up for the keyboard. So it works out. It's a nice little system, I think. Ooh. Oh, come on. There it is. This pick is just so quick. It just always does that. It's a quick pick. Those Californians will understand that reference to the lottery. Go ahead and have a little bit of snack there, fill up on the hunger, and continue on. So I did adjust the audio a little bit, the music and whatnot. I'm still not sure if it's too loud or whatnot. I won't be able to tell that until after the recording's done. So if that is an issue, it will be fixed by the next video, because it does sound awfully loud in my headphones. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Because I know a lot of people end up having it super, super quiet. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn the music off. I'm not in a music mood, I guess, right now. Music, go away. Thank you. Okay. I could, and I probably end up will be going. I will go back and salvage a lot of the sandstone that is not being used, because why not? It's less desert work that I've got to do later. Okay. I did not make a way for me to get out of here, so there's forever going to be a dirt pillar in here. So the tops are dark wood as well. And so while I'm working on this, what I will do is move on to the next segment, which is the question of the day. Now, the question of the day is, what gets you excited about life? Basically, what I did to find the question of the day is go onto Google and type in interesting, thought-provoking type questions. There's 1.5 million websites that have all these types of things. So, today's question, what gets you excited about life? For me, it's the mystery of everything. I consider myself to be fairly young still. Inside joke between all my friends and stuff is that I'm 24 going on 64. I tend to complain a lot about kids these days and their music, and although I do like a lot of the music and their shenanigans and such, but what gets me excited is sort of the mystery of what's to come. As I mentioned in my first video, I still am a college student pursuing my biology degree. That's one of the reasons that these videos are probably going to be fairly sporadic, is because, well, college student, I've got a ton of homework and all that other stuff going on, and I'm working odd jobs here and there, so... But what gets me excited is sort of the mystery of what's to come and what I will become, what I will do with my degree, what I will do with this, with friends, with family, and everything in between. Just sort of the mystery of all that is just really exciting to me. Because honestly, the possibilities are, as corny as it sounds, possibilities are fairly endless. Of course, every day little things get me excited. Having a brand new computer, that's awesome and exciting. The beds really should have like a protection effect there. But yeah, getting the little things, of course, is exciting. This is my first real big purchase I've ever made from my own money. I'm generally a saver, and I don't like to spend large amounts of money all at once, and I usually don't. So it's definitely a very difficult decision for me to make to buy this computer. But I think it will have a lot of utility for me and for the future, and whatever becomes of it. So yeah, I was excited when I got my car. I tend to be a car guy. So when I got my new car, that was definitely an exciting thing. So there's a lot of little things that get me excited, but the big thing that sort of really gets me excited about life is just the mystery of what it's going to become, and that never has to stop. You can be 80 and still have that optimistic viewpoint. A lot of people who know me might be surprised that I guess I would have that sort of opinion. They tend to view me as more of a pessimistic person, and I don't think I am. I think I'm more of a realist. I tend to look at situations and life more in a realistic manner, and I think a lot of realists tend to be thrown into the pessimistic pile because we don't have an optimistic outpoint, but there's definitely a gray area, as with anything, between those points where you can be an optimist, like I am. Oh, don't fall out of the stream. It's getting dark, so we're going to take a little nap. We are getting towards that 20-minute marker here, so I'm probably just going to record a little bit more, finish up my thoughts on things, and then I will either finish up this build later, off camera, or it will be in the next episode. I would like to get as much of this dirt back as I can. There we go, because we are running low, although with this efficiency 5, that can be taken care of quite quickly. So let's go ahead and finish this guy up here. So I'm excited about this new format of the show. It gives it more of a purpose, I think. It gives it more of a definition, and it will be sort of a predictable thing, not just sort of a, okay, well, today, who knows what I'm going to talk about, or who knows what this is going to be about, or, things of that nature. So I think structure will be a good thing, and I think it will lead to better quality from me because I'll know what to expect out of the whole situation. I can definitely tell on this episode I feel a little bit more comfortable building and talking at the same time. That first one, when I was building this guy here, it was definitely not as fluid. At least that's how I feel. Could be completely wrong on that, who knows. Let's go ahead, have ourselves a little snacky snack. So the question of the day will probably be interchangeable with another segment idea that I've got, which is the joke of the day. And there's a really cool website that's got a ton of funny jokes on them that I think will be a good place. Now, the only issue with them, they tend to be more story jokes. They're not one-liners, they're not puns, although I love puns. If you don't love puns, I'm sorry, but puns are just absolutely awesome. They tend to be more long format, and so that means that unless I've got them memorized, which I'm not great at memorization, that's definitely not my specialty, maybe I will read a joke, make my sort of take on it and tell it that way. Who knows, we'll see. But if I want to keep them sort of the way they are, the issue there is going to be I would have to sort of stop, read it, and then sort of give my impression of it. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I'm not necessarily a fan of having to stop and just read something while Minecraft is just sort of running idly. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe if I'm, I don't know, at a mob farm, something like that. I'm not sure at this point. But I think this is going to do it for today's episode. I don't think there's anything else that I really want to cover. Let's just reiterate really quickly. So let's build over, and I'm going to reiterate just real quickly the format here of the new show. Ideally, I'm going to have every day, but more likely every other day, a video that is 20 or so minutes in length. And we're going to have the quote of the day, and then I'm going to give sort of my opinion and impressions on it. And, of course, please feel free, if you've got your own opinion or expressions on that, to, well, express them however you like. Video response, comment, like, whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. Get your opinion out there. Everybody's got their opinion, and I think a lot of opinions can create discussion. Of course, YouTube comments are quite famous for not creating a lot of discussion because of the fact that, there's the whole anonymous aspect to it. But we're going to have the quote of the day, the joke of the day, or the question of the day, and who knows, maybe on some days we will have both on, longer days, 40, 60-minute episodes. So we shall see, we shall see. And that, once again, was my computer announcing that it's 1 o'clock. And yes, I've been recording these at the same time because I've got my class at 2 o'clock. And so I record, set it to render and upload while I'm off at class. So just finish this up real quick and then we'll jump down, get ourselves a little bit of a look-see on how it's looking, and then sign off for the day. Next week's build will probably be making a bridge or something up here, because there's currently no way to get up here other than dirt pillaring, and that's not a solution that's going to work long term. It's not a long term solution. It's definitely a very temporary dirt scaffolding type solution. But I want to somehow incorporate this top level with something on the outside of the walls of the cylinder here, because I think that it will give it a better overall shape, because it is just a cylinder at this point with, you know, the cool stair design on the outside. So that's something that I'll be planning. I may jump over into my creative world, I may not. I may just sort of freehand it, as I'm more apt to do. Although I did start doing this one in a creative world with those guys and sort of making this hardwood bridge over. So we shall see. Let's jump on down here, take a little look. I like it. It definitely gives this floor more character. It makes it more defined than just sort of this big open space. We'll see if I end up doing anything to further that. So I definitely want to make this level more specific as well, more purpose-built, if you will. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.